50 years ago, on the 11th of October, the Second Vatican Council began. At the time, the vast majority of missionaries in the Church were from the West, from Europe and North America, and were working in countries in Asia, Africa, and South America. At the time, most of the bishops in Mindanao, where I was to be assigned in 1971, were missionaries from other countries. Now all of the bishops there and in the whole of the Philippines are Filipinos, and indeed at least 4 of the bishops in the Philippines have themselves been missionaries overseas. And one of the decrees of the Vatican Council, that on the missionary activity of the Church, known as ad gentes, the Latin for to the nations, described the Church in this way: the Pilgrim Church is missionary by her very nature, since it is from the mission of the Son and the mission of the Holy Spirit that she draws her origin, in accordance with the decree of God the Father. And today, 50 years later, the vast majority of younger missionaries are from Asia, from Africa, from South America. And 50 years ago, the vast majority of missionaries were priests and religious brothers and religious sisters. Today, many are lay people, including Colombian lay missionaries who are working in a number of countries outside of the Philippines, and we have lay missionaries from Korea and Peru working in the Philippines. This issue of mission shows how the Church has changed. We have an article by a Colombian seminarian on his first missionary assignment in Fiji, Kurt Pala, who is from Iligan. Kurt is living among Indian Fijians in his first assignment there. 50 years ago, Iligan was part of the prelature of Osamis, led by Colombian Bishop Patrick Cronin, which covered 3 provinces. Now there are 3 jurisdictions there: an archdiocese, a diocese, and a prelature, and the 3 bishops are Filipinos. We have an article by Bishop Wenceslao Padilla, who is the first bishop in history in Mongolia, and his prefecture or jurisdiction covers the whole of that vast country. He is also the first Filipino bishop appointed to a jurisdiction outside of the Philippines. And when he went there 20 years ago, there were only a handful of Catholics. Now there are 800 or 900. And there are missionaries there from quite a number of countries, including the Congo, the Philippines, Korea, and Japan. And among the Japanese are lay missionaries. This reflects the way the Church's understanding of itself has changed, that the Church in every country is called to be a sending country as well as a receiving one. And the countries that in the past sent, including my own country, Ireland, are now receiving missionaries from other countries, because especially in Western Europe, many have lost the faith, and we need to hear the gospel again. But this issue also brings us back to the 17th century, and the example of 2 young Christians who were living in countries where the Church was still in its infancy. One, Kadri Tegakwita, will be the first North American native to be canonized. She was a young Indian woman who was baptized at the age of 20 in what is now the state of New York, and who died 4 years later near Quebec in Canada. She will be canonized along with a young Filipino whose age we're not sure of. He was anywhere between 70 and 20, and he was a Visayan. We're not sure which particular island he was from, but we know he was martyred in Guam along with a Jesuit missionary priest, and his name is Pedro Calungsod. And these 2 young people living in the 17th century are models of how to follow Jesus Christ in the 21st century. Both gave themselves totally to Jesus. Kadri died from an illness Blessed Pedro, or Saint Pedro as he will be by the end of October, was a young man, soltero pa, as we say in Hiligaynon, who died as a catechist, side by side with the priest whom he accompanied to Guam, which was then part of the vast diocese of Cebu. So thank God for how the church has grown. Thank God for its understanding of its missionary dimension being developed by the Vatican Council. And may the church in every country continue to send out missionaries, not only priests and religious, but lay people. And may the church in every country continue to welcome missionaries and immigrants from other countries, so that the church will be seen to be truly Catholic or universal in every part of the world.